Hello, I'm Joseph and welcome to my presentation. I'm going to look at two great ancient civilization or cultures. And before I start, I would like to have an outline of my speech. And so I will identify the two great cultures, similarities between the two cultures, difference between the two cultures, hypothesized similarities and differences between these two cultures, then their impact on the modern society, and then to conclude, I will be looking at some of the visual presentation regarding the two empires. So, for the purpose of this study, we will examine at the Roman Empire, which started at around 753 BC to 27 BC. Now, by that time, the Roman Empire covered mostly all parts of the Europe, parts of the Asia, and North Africa. All right, then from there, the other empire or culture that we are going to look at is the Asian, Assyrian, or Persian Empire that ran around 911 BC to 327 BC, covering Middle East Asia and parts of North Africa. So, having identified the two cultures, now it's time to understand similarities between the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire, or these two great cultures. So both covered parts of Asia and North Africa, apart from Roman Empire that entirely covered Europe and then also covering Asia and North Africa. We find that also the Assyrian Empire is covering Asia and North Africa. So that is something similar in both cultures. So both were ruled with authority of military power from people that from the regions that were conquered. So once they conquered the regions they conquered, they will capture those people and they will use them for the military protection and other military activities. So that is something that was common between the two cultures. Okay, also both of them were dominant at around 500 to 300 BC. That is the average time that we find both of them were in dominion in their region. Also, another key important event to understand or similarity to understand among them is that trade was common among them. Okay, trading activities was one of their primary activity that they were involved. Even though they went around capturing other areas, they were doing it while they were going around conducting trade activities. They also maintained bureaucratic form of leadership or authority. So leadership authority was vested at the headquarters. Very little was delegated to the other regions. So like with the Roman Empire, the leadership was vested at Rome. With the Persian Empire, the leadership authority and the decision making was vested at Babylon, or that is where today we have the Iran. Another common similarity between the two of them is that we find both of them contained people from different cultures. Given that they controlled areas from different continents, we find that they were the people and cultures of great people from different cultures and continent. Then we also find that they all controlled large area of land. Okay, seeing that like the Roman Empire controlled all parts of Europe, then Northern Africa and Middle East Asia. So, and the same thing with the Persian Empire. So that geographical wise, that is a huge land to cover, and that was similar from both of them. Then another key similarity between the two of them is that we found at the end of their kingdoms, or at the end of their culture, they sprang up two great religions of the world. The Persian Empire is where we find Islamic coming from, and the Roman Empire, Christianity coming from. And these both will be examined later. So now, having looked at the similarities, it's time to look at the differences between the Assyrian and the difference between the Assyrian Empire and the Roman Empire. Okay, one thing is that the Roman Empire, they were polytheistic. They had a polytheistic form of worship, meaning they worshipped many gods. On contrast, the Persian Empire, they had a monotheistic form of worship. Okay, then Roman Empire was primarily water empire, or they preferred to travel through water means to conduct their businesses because they were much around the areas covered with sea, the Mediterranean Sea, the Dead Sea, and then also those regions that were covered with water. Then unlike the Persian Empire, they used land for traveling because their area is first covered with desert. Then when it comes to technology, the Roman Empire, they were very much advanced with the technology, especially in times of war. And this led them having less casualties when they went to war. Unlike with the Persian Empire, they had little or no technology in preparation for war. And this suffered them huge casualties when it came for them to go to war. So the Roman Empire, they started Christianity. The Persian Empire, at the end we see Islamic coming from them. That is another difference between the two of them. So having I've examined that, we will look at some of the hypothesized reasons for their similarities. Okay, some of their similarities that can be hypothesized is that because both of them existed at the time there was a demand for trade. Okay, all the time they existed, there was demand for the trade, especially in the regions they controlled. Due to the area covered, they all had people from different cultures. Okay, that is another hypothesized reason of their similarities. And they also, both of them had need to conquer more regions to obtain trade means. Now let us look at the hypothetic reasons for their differences. Both were having different form of worship, polytheistic and monotheistic. Okay, that is one critical differences that is drawn across them, both of them. Okay, then Roman conquered about 3 continents, and the Persian Empire conquered only Asia and parts of North Africa. So we can see that is another difference. Roman Empire seems to control a large area of land. Now, we look at their impact into the modern world society. These two great cultures, ancient cultures, what are some of their impact into the modern society? All right, looking at Roman Empire, the area they covered, that is where the main languages or international languages have come from. Naming them, Italian, English, Spanish, French, Germany, all these came from the kingdoms or areas that were controlled by the Roman Empire. So that is their impact even to the modern world society today. Another impact from the Roman Empire is numbering and other scientific observation. Okay, the language we use today, the alphabets, okay, they all originated from the Roman Empire. That's the English alphabets. Okay, looking at it again, we use in this case the Roman numbers and also other scientific observations. Okay, the Roman calendar, we normally talk of the Roman calendar. That is a year with 365 days, with 12 months, and with all these other seasons or quarters we observe in a year. Okay, then from there, they also invented architectural and constructions. Most of the architectural designs, they are all originated from the areas that were covered by the Roman Empire. Okay, and then bringing up of the Christianity. That is something critical to understand from the Roman Empire. Christianity it all has roots from Rome. And that is, of course, the headquarter for the Roman Empire. Now, having looked at the impact of the Roman Empire to the modern society, it's good now to look at the impact of the Assyrian or the Persian Empire to the modern world society. So from this culture, we find that it influenced the postal system, given that they traveled across a large area of land, the postal system came from there. Also, they introduced money. That was about 2,500 years ago. They are the one who introduced currency for trading. And also, the accounting tools were founded by them, or the similar accounting tools we use today for reporting. This came from the Persian Empire. So we can see this culture had a great impact to the modern society. Now from there, we look at some of the images that will illustrate more deeper on both the Roman and the Persian Empire. Here, it's a timeline of the Roman Empire from 700 BC all up to 27 BC. All the events and activities that were happening. But this is nothing but just a summary of this. And then geographical locations covered by the Roman Empire. Okay, it's good to understand the area of geography that was covered by the Roman Empire, as it's clearly seen all the Europe part and parts of Asia today where like Syria is, and also Middle East, that is area like the Egypt in Northern Africa. And as you can see, the reason that they have been referred, they used water for traveling. You can see the area covered by the Mediterranean Sea and other oceans like Black Sea and Red Sea. So water was a means of traveling for them because it was much bound around them. So now we look at some of the illustrations, visual illustrations on the Persian Empire. Okay, looking at it, a lot of activities happened during this time. Here they are the rulers that happened to rule in the times of Persian Empire, and then the times they ruled from 536 in this case, all this and the number of years each ruler went through, and also we can see where the events can be recorded in the Bible as for referencing. And also, to summarize up, we will also look at the geographical area that was covered by the Persian Empire in the time they covered this area. As explained before, it covered parts of Asia, North Africa, and North Africa. All right, and as you can see, much of their land was desert, and that's the reason they preferred to use land for traveling. So in summary, that is the presentation that we have had for Persian and Roman Empire, the area they covered, their similarities, and the other common activities and differences that they might have had. So thank you for listening, and see you again later. Thank you. Bye.